Welcome to 30-Second Chances, where we ask deep, inquisitive questions and give you far too little time to formulate thoughtful, reflective answers. My guest today is recording artist Steven Wright-Mark. Steven, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Okay, you know the drill, 30 seconds on the clock, and then on to the next question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
Question number 1. How do you think the shelter in place has driven creativity and technical innovation for you?
Well, for me, it's actually, it made me do this rather in depth. I have a new EP out called Wake Up, and I was working on a music video, and I had nobody else to work on it. So I had to learn a piece of video editing software, looked at a 3,000-page manual, try to figure it all out. And I know other artists who are doing the same sort of thing where they're just digging deep about improving their recording technique or their songwriting technique, or, hey, how am I going to handle my social media efforts? So it's a time that all of us can kind of do a much deeper dive because, frankly, there aren't that many other distractions right now, right? We're kind of stuck.
Question number 2. Thinking back to the Porta Studio, from the Porta Studio to today, what do you think has been the biggest benefit of the bedroom studio?
Well, I mean, the ability to just be able to roll out of bed and work on an idea the instant that you have one. And when I was able to multi-track on a Porta Studio, in fact, the very first one, it opened up a world of possibilities for me. I would get those 4 tracks and bounce them down to 2 and then put them back onto 2 channels and add more and go back and forth. Yeah, the quality would degrade. It was horrible. But now having the ability to do this digitally is incredible. You know, anytime you have that moment of inspiration, you can just go with it right away. And that's something I would never want to turn back the clock on.
Question number 3. What artist or band do you think deserves much more credit artistically than they get?
Oh, there are a lot of folks. God, one of my favorite artists is a guy named Butch Walker, who actually just put out a really great rock opera album. But you know, he's a guy that writes amazing songs, great solo artist, incredible producer. That's one person. I'm a big fan also of Michael Penn, of all folks. He had one hit like back in the day, and everybody knows his brother Sean. But
Liston,
he's
that,
written
I believe what it was called, right?
Songs over the years. They're just amazing.
Yeah, I remember Michael Penn's one hit. I think it was called This and That, or I'll Do This, I'll Do That, something like that.
That could have been one. His big hit was, I think, called No Myth.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was the big one. But his other albums are amazing. And, you know, he was a big influence as a pop-styled songwriter for me at one time. But there are a bunch of others like that. There's so many unsung heroes.
Well, we've used up our time for that question.
Sorry. I'll keep talking. You got to cut me off, man.
Tell you, man, you know, I tried. The buzzer was there. You just ignored it, man.
No. I didn't hear it. Oh, shit. Wave your hands.
Okay, question number 3. What 2 artists would you pick for the ultimate mashup?
Oh my God, that's a tough one. I love things that actually are completely different. So I'm thinking like a metal act of something with like really aggressive guitar. So I'm going to say like Metallica, but something really kind of cool like David Bowie at the same time. How about that? Metallica and David Bowie.
Wasn't there
now that's not possible at all, but
I think I heard a mashup recently of Metallica and the Bee Gees or something like that.
Really? Yeah, I can imagine that. I just love those crazy contrasts.
Question number 4. If you could have one weird superpower, what would it be and why?
Ooh, this might sound creepy, but I think the ability to be invisible and to be in certain situations. Like I would love to be an invisible fly on the wall in recording studios where people are working, you know, and laying tracks and like working on the production, to be able to very surreptitiously look over somebody's shoulder and figure out what was going on would be pretty amazing. But I promise I would keep that just for education and no other purposes.
Sure you would. Question number 4. Are we on number 4? I have no idea. I've lost count. What would the 15-year-old you...
What day is it? I'm sorry.
I know, right? What would 15-year-old you be most and least impressed with about you now?
Oh boy, 15-year-old me would be least impressed with the fact that as doing this for so many years, I still am kind of like a developing artist that, you know, just haven't quite gotten there yet. Having said that, 15-year-old me on the flip side of that, I think would also be happy with some of the successes and some of the experiences I've had, you know, touring the world with Jessica Lynn, who I played with for years, you know, hearing my songs on the radio, having videos out, you know, that I've actually reached this point. Damn, I heard that. Okay.
Okay, question number 5. The undo function has been one of the most influential developments in recording. Discuss.
Man, I would not be able to live without that. I can't tell you how many mistakes that I make. I mean, for me also, I'm truly a solo artist in that I work by myself in the studio. So I miss sometimes having a band to be able to work on an arrangement with and bounce things off of and create something together. But for me, that happens in the studio. And believe me, there's a lot more that winds up getting hit with that undo button and delete button when you listen back and
You
go,
have been buzzed.
thank you.
Next question. Final question. What are you working on now?
I just finished recording an EP, Wake Up, which was released 3 weeks ago. Just finished the first video for that, which I had mentioned before I had to edit for my song Underground. But I'm already recording songs for the next batch. I'm going to put out another 4-song EP later this year. I'm going to work on a new video for one of the songs on my existing EP, Wake Up. And just trying to stay creative, constantly. Write new music, practice guitar, practice keyboards, get my air back in my lungs, all of that.
Right. And get ready to go on tour, no doubt, right?
When is that going to happen, Dan?
Well, thank you for being our guest and playing our game, even though you screwed up the rules completely, dude.
Leave it to me. Yeah, guilty, man. Sorry.
That's okay. You're not the first, believe me. But it's been a pleasure having you as our guest, and thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Dan. Thanks for having me. It was a blast.